students to join us as we navigate this very complex situation. Okay, so hello, good evening. Please, if you are joining us, if you can hear us, let us know. Please let me know if you are hearing us from the other end. Good evening. Please let me know if you are hearing us from the other end, please. If you can hear us, please let me know. Please, if you can hear us, please let me know, please. Please let me know if you can hear us. If you are with us and you can hear us, please let me know. I can see that 4 of you are with us already. So if you can hear us, please let me know from your end, and so that we're able to okay, okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Charles can hear us. That's very beautiful. Please, if you are joining us, just indicate your location where you are joining us from, so that we can be able to have a very smooth discussion. I want to welcome you to Environment and Safety Management Institute training. This is our training that has been designed in such a way that those of you who want to gain expertise in the field of environment and safety management, you will enjoy our classes, and at the same time we have the best of what you desire in the field of safety management. So I welcome you to today's class, and I am hoping that all of us will have a successful class this evening. So once again, you are welcome on board as we commence our interaction today. So Charles, you are welcome. You can tell us your location, where you are joining us from, so that we have a class that is sufficient for all of us. Safety management is a profession, is a discipline that Anybody can be part of it, irrespective of your field of endeavor. But you can join us, and at the end of the day, become a safety professional. So in our August training this month, we believe that we are going to have the best of what we need. Mr. Charles is a quality assurance and safety officer from Akwa Ibom State. You are highly welcome to today's class, and we thank you for being part of the class. So if you are joining us, you can tell us your location and what you do in your organization, and then we will continue to work together. We continue to look at the discipline of health and safety together. Now today we are going to look at occupational health and safety. Occupational health and safety. Now when we talk about occupational health and safety, the first thing that comes to mind that makes a lot of people to jump into this field, this wonderful field, is that occupational health and safety is that discipline that encompasses the social, the mental, and the physical well-being of people in an organization. Now, occupational health and safety looks at the whole people, the totality of the people, and the act of protecting both the people, the resources, and the materials of the organization to ensure that they are safe and they do the best they can in their place of work. So when we are talking about occupational health and safety, the aim is to ensure that you promote and maintain discipline, you promote and maintain effectiveness, you promote and maintain quality in your place of work. Now, it helps you to maintain the highest level or the highest degree of physical, mental, and social well-being. It also helps you to protect among your workers the adverse effects of their working condition on health. It also helps you to place and maintain your workers in an occupational environment that they can adapt to physical and mental needs of that job. Then occupational health and safety also help you to adapt to the work condition. It makes the humans to adapt to work condition. It also help you to provide a work environment that has the minimum hazards that are found in the work environment. So when we are talking about occupational health and safety in a place of work, there are different issues that needs to be considered when you are talking about occupational health and safety. And the first of such issues is the issue of occupational medicine. Occupational medicine. And apart from the issue of occupational medicine, another issue is the issue of toxicology. Now, outside toxicology, you have other issues like issue of engineering safety, issue of psychology, issues of industrial hygiene, issues of education, as well as issues of ergonomics. These are the basic issues that we talk about when we are looking at occupational health and safety in the work environment. Now, this occupational health and safety is very, very important because there are a lot of effects of poor work condition to workers in your work environment. So this effects of poor work conditions is what makes you to reduce the rate at which the hazards take place, the rate at which injuries occur, and the rate at which accidents also take place in the work environment. Now, these effects of poor work conditions are enormous on the work population. For instance, poor work conditions affect workers' health and safety. It also affects the environment that they live in. And you will agree with me that most of the time you spend it in your work environment more than the time you spend in your home. So as a result of this, the more time you spend in your work environment, the more you are prone to hazards, if at all such such work environment is a work environment that has a lot of hazards. Therefore, occupational health and safety plays this role to make sure that you are able to recognize those hazards that you have in the work environment, and then you avoid them, and then you also prevent those industrial accidents or diseases that would have happened in your place of work. Now, occupational health and safety also goes a long way in helping you retain staff, because once you have less injuries, more of the people can work better. Once you have less diseases, such people can work better. So occupational health and safety help you to retain your staff. It also helps you to maximize employee productivity, because the lesser someone is prone to accidents, the lesser someone is prone to injuries, the more the person is able to work effectively. So you maximize the output of your workers. Then it also helps you to minimize injuries and illness in the workplace. Occupational health and safety helps you to minimize injuries in your workplace. Now, also another thing is that it helps you to reduce the cost of injuries and workers' compensation. Occupational health and safety helps you to reduce the cost of injuries and workers' compensation. So these are some of the things that occupational health and safety help you to achieve in the work environment. Now, let me tell you that the cost of occupational injuries is enormous. The cost is much. There's cost to the extent that we classify it as direct and indirect cost. Now, if we're looking at the direct cost can even be classified into two, whereby you talk about the cost to the workers and the cost to the employers. Now, if we're talking about the cost to the workers, for example, the pain and the suffering that worker faces in the course of the injury is his pain. The pain belongs to him. Therefore, the staff bears the pain. The staff is the one that is taking the blunt of the pain that he or she faces during the course of the accident or the cause of the injury he or she has gotten. And if it's a nature of job that the person who is involved earns maybe per hour or per day, then he or she is going to lose income, because especially where they are paying wages, you will tend to lose income if the cost of the accident or the cause of the injury has become so worse that you cannot be able to work. So within those days that you will not be able to work, you are going to lose income, and that is a cost to you. Now, another thing is that the worker may possibly lose his or her job, because when the injury makes you incapacitated, it becomes difficult for you to work. So at that time, it is possible that the worker may lose his or her job as a result of the injury. Now, also, another thing that happens is that the worker may bear the cost of the treatment for the injury. The worker sometimes bear the cost of the treatment for the injury. This is a minus on he or her finances. Then to the employers also bear cost of occupational accidents or occupational diseases or occupational injuries. For example, where the employer pays salaries, the employer is bound to pay for what is not done, because it will look as if you are not human enough if somebody is working for you and the person has an injury, and then you refuse to take care of the person's salaries because the person is not coming to work. But at the end of the day, it's a loss on your side because you are going to pay for work that the person actually didn't do it. And then another one is sometimes you, the employer, you are expected to pay medical compensation. Sometimes you are expected to pay medical compensation. And this payment of medical compensation is on you directly, so it affects you and everything that you do. Then also, you may be required to repair some damaged machineries and equipment. You may be required to pay some damaged machineries and equipment, and that cost is on you. Then also, there will be reduction or temporary halt in production, because at that point that there is an injury or there is damage or there's an accident in the place of work, you will discover that work will definitely halt. Not everybody will be able to work at that time, because one, the duty post that the person that was working will be affected. Also, sometimes machines or machineries will also be affected. The result of that, work may not be able to go on again. Then to also, it increases cost of training or administrative costs. It increases cost of training or administrative cost most of the times, because the person or the people who are in charge of the training will look at it that, maybe it's because you were not properly trained, that's why you had this accident, therefore you need to be trained. So it's definitely going to increase your cost of training as an employer. It may also reduce the quality of work that has been put up. The quality of work may also be reduced, and it also possible that it may affect the morale of the staff. It may also affect the morale of the staff, and then this is dangerous for your production. Once the morale of the staff is affected, it's dangerous for your production. Now, also, there is what we call the indirect costs. The indirect costs. Now, when we talk about the indirect costs talks about the cost that involves a third party, a party that was not part, is not actually the person who had the accident, and it's not the employer. So such cost is what is indirect cost. For example, if you are the breadwinner of your family and then you had an occupational accident, your family depends on you. But because of the accident, they may not be able to have you at their side to support the way you were supporting before. And as a result of that, is going to affect what you were bringing at home. So as a result of the occupational injury that you had, what you were bringing at home has been affected. So this is part of the challenges or the effect of the accident that you had. Also, to your community, this is also an indirect cost, because your community was depending on you for maybe a project or for a particular support. Because of this, you will not be able to do it. Also, the government depends on you for taxes, and if you cannot continue with your work as a result of the injuries that you had, then definitely it's also going to affect the um, the organizational capacity. So once it affects the capacity of the organization to pay tax, or the capacity of the individual to pay tax, the government is going to lose. So that is an indirect cost. Now, this will show you why safety programs are very, very important in any organization that you find yourself in. Safety programs become very, very important in this situation because one, these workplace hazards we are talking about, once you put your safety programs in place, these hazards can be controlled from the starting on the ground. Those hazards will be controlled. And then also, when you engage in these occupational health and safety programs, you will keep record of the things that are happening. You keep the record. And because you're able to keep the record, whenever you need to check or to cross-check what exactly has been responsible for these problems, then you will discover that it will be very easy for you to lay hands on the data that has been available because of the records. Both the workers and the employers are informed about the health and safety risks in their workplace when these occupational health and safety programs are beginning to roll out. Both the employer also begins to know the cost of what is supposed to be done, and the employees also begin to understand that, okay, this is what is the cost of these health and safety programs. So it's very, very important to implement health and safety programs in your organization. Then also, another reason why it is important to have safety programs in your organization is because there is an active and effective health and safety committee. So this committee includes both the workers and the management. So as a result of that, the communication is there. Wherever there is challenge, it's easily identified, and then the way out is also easily sought, and there's improvement, there's development, there's change, there's the necessarily collaborations that are needed to ensure that your program doesn't fail. So this active participation helps to keep the entire organization running and abreast of the challenges that are there as health and safety issues are concerned. Then it also make the worker health and safety efforts more prominent. Everybody begins to understand that, okay, these are the programs that are on ground, and this is how we will navigate, this is how we manage to ensure that the health and safety projects or programs in the organization are achieved successfully. There are benefits. There are a lot of benefits, many of them. There are a lot of benefits when you talk about effective workplace health and safety. There are a lot of benefits. The first thing is that effective workplace health and safety programs can help to save the lives of the workers. This is because it reduces the accidents that happen. And remember, there's a relationship between accidents, injuries, and occupational health. You know, it's like a triangle. Okay? Once accidents increase, the health is more at risk. Once hazards in the work environment increase, the rate of accident will also increase. And once the rate of accident increase, injuries will also increase. And it's also more tenable that there will even be death. So this is the relationship. So when you implement effective health and safety programs, they reduce the hazards. As the hazards are reduced, the accidents are reduced, the injuries are reduced. So that is the cycle of what takes place. It also has a positive effect on both the worker morale and the productivity, which are important benefits. Now, if you're working in an organization and you are confident that as you are working in this organization, nothing is going to happen to you, or you are confident that less injuries are going to be observed, then you feel you have that morale, you have that confidence that whatsoever thing that you are doing, you are safe. So when these health and safety programs are effective in the workplace, it drives that morale. It makes somebody begin to, permit me to say what we normally say in Nigeria. You can put your head with your full chest, because you know that your safety is guaranteed. You are sure of a level of safety. But once you are not, once that uncertainty begins to fly in, that you are not confident of the safety of what you are doing, then definitely it's going to affect the level of morale that you would have had to give a reasonable output. Another benefit is that it can save employers a great deal of money, because once accidents are reduced, once these hazards are reduced, that cost that you would have spent on your personal medical bills because of the accidents, because of the injuries that you have in your workplace, is taken away. So you have a relief of that. And because you have a relief of that, you will definitely save that money and use it for something else. So it helps you save good deal. It also contributes to the prosperity of the community or the nation. Let me give you this instance. Assuming you were working in an organization called Company A, and during your work in Company A, you used to fall sick once in every 2 months. And whenever you fell sick, you spend about 50,000 naira in the hospital. So that 50,000 naira you spend in the hospital every 2 months because of your e-health. So one thing led to the other, and you left Company A and you start working with Company B. And in Company B, you have worked there for 6 months without having any injury, without having fallen sick. You work for a whole year without having any injury, without having falling sick. You will begin to realize that in the course of this, that money you were using for medical healthcare, you have been saving it. And because you have been saving it, you that before then, while working in Company A, you were not able to do any contribution whenever they are doing community project in your village. All of a sudden now, you have saved some money now, which when the community meeting calls you from the village, you can even send them 100,000. Now, the absence of this health and safety risks in the Company B you are working for now has contributed to you being able to solve problems in your community. Because the more you have money in your pocket, the more able you are to solve problems. And the lesser money in your pocket, the lesser able you are to solve problems. So definitely, when you have lesser hazards and lesser injuries and lesser accidents in your place of work, definitely you have more money. And once you have more money, definitely you will what? You will respond to community cause better. I believe we are making progress. Now, let us pause for a while. We will take your questions, and then after that, we will respond and we continue from here. But before I go, we have been talking about health and safety in your occupations. Now, we say that occupational health and safety refers to the totality of the well-being of the people working in an organization. We say totality here refers to the physical, the mental, the social well-being of the people. It is not just about the absence of diseases. There are some people that where they are working, even though the mental, the physical well-being is there is social problem because, for instance, maybe they are being harassed. So that harassment becomes a problem. Maybe there's somebody in the work environment that intimidates them every day and make them understand that they are just working there because they are helping them. I came across a situation whereby somebody was told in his work environment that we picked you from the gutter and gave you this job. Now imagine such words already will cause a lot of social injury on the psyche of this person. So even though the work environment may not have physical health challenges, that social abuse will definitely affect the person on how the person will work. And we went on to say that occupational health and safety programs are very, very important to your business organization. We say when you tread these occupational health and safety programs, you are going to have more injuries, you're going to have more accidents, and you are going to have a lot of issues that will result to workers, their morale being affected, your production being held down, your machinery is being destroyed. So it is good to put more effort to enhance an effective health and safety program in your organization. So I will take your questions and we'll continue afterwards. Thank you. Any questions so far? Okay. In the absence of any question, let us proceed. Let us proceed. Let's discuss occupational accidents. Occupational accidents. Okay, Mr. Charles said the lecture is well understood, so there's no question. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. So if there's no question, we will proceed with occupational accidents. Occupational accident. Now, when we are talking about occupational accidents, one may ask, what exactly do we mean by an accident? What exactly do we mean by an accident? Now, the invention of machines in the 18th century led to a lot of moving parts in the place of work. These moving parts interacted with humans, and because the moving parts were interacting with humans, it resulted to a lot of accidents. So when we are talking about an accident is any unplanned or unwanted occurrence that is being caused by unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. The accident is caused by unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. And this unplanned action or unplanned occurrence now result into injury, it results into damage, or sometimes both injury and damage, and sometimes what? Now, if an accident, this unplanned or unintended occurrence, which happens in the course of an activity or the course of an operation in the workplace, could cause personal injury or cause damage to interfere with production and other business activities that we are going on, then definitely the accident is not a good thing in the workplace. Now, when we are talking about these accidents, two things comes to mind. The causes of this accident. And we say the causes of this accident are what? Unsafe acts or unsafe condition. Unsafe acts or what? Unsafe condition. Now, when we talk about an unsafe act is any action that you do without minding the consequences of this action to one, yourself, or the environment, or your colleagues that are around. So any action that you do without minding the consequences of this action on yourself, on the environment, or on the people around you, such action is what is called unsafe act. Then the second cause of accidents is unsafe condition. An unsafe condition is that condition you find yourself in, and you don't have any control over such condition. You find yourself in that condition, and you don't have any control over such condition. Let me give you an example. If you board a public transport and you are traveling, and the driver is overspeeding, the driver is committing an unsafe act, but that driver is putting you in an unsafe condition. The driver is committing what? An unsafe act, but then the driver is putting you in an unsafe condition. I don't know whether my explanation is clear. So when you talk about unsafe act, or when you talk about unsafe condition, unsafe act is caused by you, while the unsafe condition, you are being put in the unsafe condition. There are different actions that can be referred to as unsafe acts. For example, if you are without authorization, it's an unsafe act. You need a permit to operate. So when you are operating, or sometimes you are operating without that qualification. Do you know that I went to an organization and I realized that they have about 3 safety officers and none of the safety officers was qualified. None of them was qualified. So you realize that people operate without even the qualification. Most of the times you hear issues of somebody took the certificate of his friend and went and got a job. Or somebody took the certificate of another person who is dead and went and get a job. These are unsafe acts. Another example of an unsafe act is lack of or improper use of personal protective equipment. It's an unsafe act. Failure to log out or tag out is an unsafe act. Operating equipment at an unsafe speed. Failure to warn. These are unsafe acts. What about when you bypass a safety device? It's still an unsafe act. What of when you use tools that are different for the purpose that they were intended to be used? That is an unsafe act. What else when you are doing horseplay in your place of work? That is an unsafe act. Or maybe when you are wearing unsafe clothing, it's an unsafe act. Or when you are taking an unsafe position, these are what? Unsafe acts. And when you are talking of unsafe condition, for instance, you are using a tool and the tool is defective and you don't know. Let me give you an instance. Maybe you want to do something like a survey, or maybe you want to carry out measurements, and the container you are to use for this measurement is a calibrated container. And meanwhile, from the factory where you got this container, it was calibrated wrongly. You will begin to understand that because the container is calibrated wrongly, it will affect the accuracy of the amount of measurement you want to do. You have been put in that unsafe condition. It's not that you intentionally did a wrong measurement, no. What when you are driving on the road and there are potholes on the road? You are in an unsafe condition. You didn't create those potholes on the road. Somebody's failure to maintain the road caused those potholes. So it's an unsafe condition. What of when you are in a place that have inadequate support guards? You are in an unsafe condition. Or what about congestion in your place of work? It is putting you in an unsafe condition. What about fire explosive hazard? You are in an environment and then the next thing you heard is power. And the explosion happened. That is you are in a what? Unsafe condition. What of you finding yourself where there is excessive noise? You are in an unsafe condition. Or maybe poor ventilation. You are not the one that created it. You found yourself there. So these are what? Unsafe conditions. Accidents, just like occupational health and occupational diseases, also have a lot of challenges. Okay, you can still classify them as direct effect and indirect what? Effect. And the direct effect can be to the employer and to the company, while the indirect effect will be to the family of the injured employee who lost their breadwinner, or to the community whereby your contribution to the community is being missed, or to the nation where the taxes that you are supposed to pay are gone. Therefore, accidents are considered undesirable. They are completely undesirable. And at the Environment and Safety Management Institute, we said accidents are what? Accidents are Mr. Hair. Accidents are what? Mr. Hair. Now, what do we mean when we say accidents are Mr. Hair? One, they affect the morale of the people. Accidents affect the morale of the people. They also affect the reputation of the company. Once your company is known for accidents, your reputation is in jeopardy. They also cause humanitarian crisis. Accidents cause what? Humanitarian crisis. They also cause economic problems, because there's going to be wastages, there's going to be halt in production, there's going to be reduction in production, there's going to be losses, and these economic losses come as a result of what? The accidents. Accident may also bring legal issues of compensation, issues of this. Accidents will bring so many legal issues. Now, if we understand that accidents are this undesirable, then why do people still go ahead to carry out unsafe acts so that they will put other people in unsafe conditions and cause accidents? Why? The first thing is that some people do it because of ignorance. Ignorance, yes. Ignorance can affect people and make them put other people in what? In unsafe conditions. Ignorance. Ignorance in the sense that, one, some people are not trained. Some people are what? Some people are not trained. Two, sometimes people are not properly instructed. Sometimes people are not properly what? Instructed. Sometimes people are not informed. Sometimes people are not what? Informed. So these things result to what? Accidents. Then, apart from ignorance, some people are physically or mentally unstable. Some people are physically or mentally unstable. So when people are physically or mentally unstable, it affects their what? It affects their ability to process information and be able to carry out the required action that they were supposed to do. So, and because it has affected them and they are not able to carry out the action that they were supposed to do, it will go a long way in affecting the accident from happening, because the person who is doing it purposely knows that what he or she is doing is wrong, but he or she still goes ahead to do it. And that is the reason why you have to set a standard for punishing unsafe acts. Because if you don't set the standard for punishing unsafe acts, you will not be able to know who does this unsafe act because he or she is ignorant, or who does it because he or she is not capable, and who does it because he or she have that attitude of doing the wrong thing. Let us talk about accident prevention. Accident prevention. Accidents are mainly caused by people. So when you identify the cause of the accident and you eliminate the cause, then you begin to control those accidents. And because you are controlling it, you are preventing it from happening. There are basically four major measures for accident prevention. And because all these four measures start with letter E, we call them the 4 E's of accident prevention. The 4 E's of accident prevention. And what are the 4 E's of accident prevention? The first E is engineering measures. Engineering measures. The second E is education measures. The third E is enforcement measure. And then the fourth E is encouragement measure. What do we mean by engineering? These are the measures that you take so that you can be able to remove the unsafe condition. Those measures you take to remove the unsafe condition are engineering measures. For instance, if the lighting is poor, by the time that you lighten up the place, you have removed the unsafe condition. And that's an engineering measure. If there are potholes on the road and you fix the potholes, you have removed the unsafe condition. And that is engineering measure. Then, education measures. These are measures that you do to correct the unsafe act from the people. You correct the unsafe act. They are education measures. They include things like training. They include things like induction, instruction, setting rules and regulations, putting in place policies, putting in place procedures on how things should be done, organizing seminars, carrying out legislation. These are education measures. They are meant to remove the unsafe act from the people. The essence why a law is enacted is not because they want to punish somebody or they want to get a criminal. No. The law is enacted so that people should know that what they are doing is bad, so that they will change from it. That is education. It is only when the people refuse to do what the law says that the law begins to punish them. That is the reason why there is a UN convention that you can't punish someone until you write the law. And there is this saying that they will tell you that where there is no law, there is no offense. Because the law is there to guide you and tell you this thing you are doing is wrong. This is how you will do it and it will be right. The policies, the rules and regulations, the inductions, the trainings, all of them are to guide you so that you do the right thing. And that is education measure. Then we talk of enforcement measure. Enforcement measure is that measure that tries to ensure that the people comply with what the education measure say. So when you comply, when it shows you what to do to comply, is enforcement. And number one of such measure is supervision. So when they say don't do this, and because there is a supervisor there, you know that if you do it, the supervisor will get back at you. You will not do it. See, let me tell you something. If you go to countries whereby people break the law, most of them break the law because nobody is seeing them. If a thief comes to your house and by entering, he or she sees a CCTV camera, immediately he or she turns his or her eyes and sees the camera, he will not steal because you know that there's an eye watching. So supervision helps to what? To make you comply with what? With what the education major say. Apart from supervision, we have inspection. Supervision does it when you are there. Inspection may not necessarily be when you are what? There. It may be after the action has been done. And then another enforcement is audit. Audit. What is an audit? An audit is that process that tries to check if what you have done is what you were supposed to do. Now, for those of you that has a background in accounting or financial management, there is something they call misappropriation, which is a financial crime. And what is misappropriation? Misappropriation is a situation whereby you were set out to use 50 naira and buy Maggi. And in the course of what you were doing, you discover that, oh, you don't have salt. Then you carry the 50 naira you were supposed to buy Maggi and you went and bought salt. That is misappropriation. Because that is not what you were set out to do. So misappropriation in financial crime is just like all the same audit we are talking about in safety. You ensure that what was set out to be done is what is being done. And then reports. Audit without report or inspection without report or supervision without report is nothing. The report is what actually brings to table what can be worked on. And all of these things are enforcement measures. Then the last E I say is what? Encouragement. Encouragement measures are those measures that boost the morale of the people. Do you know that many people out there don't do the right thing because they want to do it? They do the right thing because they want people to appreciate them. Ah, this person is different from this one. So that appreciation is what encourages them to do more. So if you fail to appreciate them, the next time they will not do it. So encouragement measures are there to appreciate those people who are doing the right thing, to boost their morale so that they will keep on doing the right thing. And include things like promotion. Promotion. Promotion is an encouragement measure. It's trying to tell you that you have done well, so we are increasing you, we are taking you to the next rank, so that you keep on doing good. Another encouragement measure is awards. In developing countries, especially most countries in Africa, like Nigeria and some of these developing countries, awards has become what politicians buy. So most of the times when you talk about award, people don't look at it that is anything. I'll go and buy an award and they give me this award and that and that. But award is meant to spur you to do more. And then you have incentives. You have recognition. If you could remember in our basic education, like the primary school system, if you answer a question in class, the teacher will ask the class to clap for you. That is a form of recognition. It's to boost your morale. So all those recognitions are part of what? Are part of encouragement. Any question, please? Question, please? questions, please? Questions, please? Okay. In the absence of questions, it has been 1 hour of discussion, and we have talked about occupational health and safety. We have also talked about occupational accidents, and we discussed then, to the best of my knowledge, in details. So I'm inviting you for tomorrow. Let me sincerely apologize for inability to start today on time due to technical glitches that we have from our network subscribers. But we believe that such unforeseen circumstances will not keep repeating. So we are enjoining you to join us tomorrow on time. If you want to reach us on phone, you can always call us or send us WhatsApp messages on 081 79 71 6797. Always send us WhatsApp messages and we will surely respond. We are not talking about hazard analysis today. Muhammad Kabir Mustafa, thank you for your question. We are not talking about hazard analysis today. It's one step at a time, and we have a whole 3 weeks to run through this program. So just be patient. We will surely come to issues of hazard analysis too. Zainab, you are welcome. Thank you for being part of the class. Charles Dixon, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Wisdom, thank you. Mr. Charles, all the way from Akwa Ibom State, we appreciate your presence.